This is Lukadowski of WeAreChange.org, and in this video we're going to highlight the top 5 censored news stories from 2015 because it's important to understand your past, especially if you want to make a good pathway for the future, and we definitely want that for 2015. There's been a lot of news, and of course you've been watching mainstream media. You know all about Bruce Jenner, you know all about whatever they're talking about. What are they talking about? Kanye Bieber? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Number 5. The top 5 most censored story from 2015 is the very fact with fresh water becoming more scarce around the world, big banksters behind your back like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, UBS, Deutsche Bank, and all these other criminal banksters who are just evil colluding son of a guns are buying up and privatizing all the water rights behind your back. Right now, as we are speaking, privatizing water is a $425 billion industry, and it is expected to become a $1 trillion industry within the next 5 years, commodifying a basic human right by the big banksters behind your very back. And of course, there's no mention of this by the mainstream media, which is incredibly important if you like water. And I think we all need water. Number 4, and the top 4th most censored news story came from The Intercept. They actually got their hands on official U.S. government documents proving how nearly 90% of people killed in drone strikes were not the intended target, including this year a 13-year-old Yemeni boy. And then we wonder why other countries, why people in the Middle East don't like the United States. Of course, the mainstream media and the corporate puppeteered militarized industrial complex has been on the mainstream media talking about how effective, how precise these drone strikes are. But The Intercept broke the story this year, and it has not been mentioned by the mainstream media how actually monstrous, incredibly dangerous, and ineffective these drone strikes are, which Barack Obama has expanded within his tenure as president, bombing over 7 countries with his deposition matrix, or as it's really called, the kill list. Number 3, the 3rd most censored story of 2015 is the very fact that the U.S. Senate passed CISPA. They also pushed massive surveillance expansion into other bills and passed the Freedom Act, virtually destroying your privacy and other internet freedoms. Yeah, you think these important, huge pieces of legislation that utterly affect everyone on the internet would make headline news. Well, they don't. Number 2, the 2nd most censored story from 2015 is the very fact that people on the ground, eyewitnesses, whistleblowers within our own very governments, international governments themselves, have been pointing to the very fact that the United States, who has been hell-bent on getting rid of Bashar al-Assad inside of Syria, have been supporting, aiding, funding, giving weapons to and supplies to ISIS, helping them grow. The United States, within this year and last year, had a 13-month bombing campaign of ISIS, and within that time, ISIS has actually grown. There's Iraqi commanders on the ground showing video footage of U.S. supplies being airdropped to ISIS. There's an Iraqi commander saying how ISIS forces are being evacuated from Ramadi as Iraqi military are having significant gains in that ISIS stronghold. There's documents, there's proof, there's photos, there's even reports of the United States bombing the Syrian government as they were making headway against ISIS, bombing the Iraqi military as they were making headway. Of course, turning a lot of countries in the international world against the United States. Not only does Iraq, Jordan, also Syria, also Iran, now Russia and China are standing in its geopolitical ways. Russia is now actually bombing ISIS and have been making more headway within a few days than the United States did within 13 months. Russia is also stopping the money supply of ISIS by bombing their oil convoys that are illegally capturing oil from Syria and going inside of Turkey. This, of course, has not been mentioned in the mainstream media. The only thing you do hear is about our war against ISIS, but in the reality of the world, that is a complete and utter lie. Now, Russia and other countries have stepped in the United States' geopolitical goal of getting rid of Bashar al-Assad, stopping the support of ISIS, and are actually making significant headway. Now the number 1 censored news story, well, according to me, of 2015 was the very fact that this was not only one of the safest years for police officers, with the deaths of police officers going down 14% since last year, but it's also been a very safe year for everyone. If we look at the global trends that have been happening within the last few years, just within the last decade, murders, violent crimes have been going down dramatically within the last few years. Firearm homicides are going down. Murders and deaths in the United States are going down. Domestic violence is decreasing. Life expectancy is going up. Child mortality is going down. And of course, you would not hear this from the fear-baiting, clip-baiting punks. I'm not going to curse, but I want to so bad. These jabronis in the news business who want to keep you inundated with fear so they could control you, so you could feel insignificant, so you could feel scared, so advertising could actually sell you more useless crap that you don't need. And that, to me, is the official story, the #1 story that has been censored, that humanity as a whole is doing a lot better than we ever have done before, and we are getting and evolving into a better human species. You would not know that by listening to the mainstream media that fear-mongers you and shows you police unions and Black Lives activists and divide and conquers you and scares the other living crap out of you in order to control you. That, to me, is the top #1 censored news stories. Of course, there's probably other news stories that I forgot or even didn't even pay attention to, but if you know of any, send them in the comment section below. Let me know what top stories you think were censored this year. These are the stories according to me. Of course, we did a full report on this in this video. All the sources for this video will be in the description below. We had an incredible, amazing, we had the biggest year as far as viewership, as far as audience retention, as far as people subscribing and being with us this year than any other year before. Of course, we face real problems. Humanity is improving. There's still a lot of important, serious problems that we are facing, that we are dealing with, but together, with the right information, with coming together, with peacefully, calmly, with just love and positivity, addressing these problems, we could solve them together. It is not impossible. The future is ours. It is extremely bright. Don't listen to all the fearmongers out there. Life is a lot better than we actually know it to be. And if you want more real information, support real people who are not just fear-mongering buttholes, and support us on Patreon. Vote with your dollar. We appreciate you and love you so much, because without you, we would not be able to do the work that we are doing. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. This year has been incredible. Next year, it's ours. It's time to take everything back. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And again, I am utterly, humbly blessed to have you, not only as your viewership, but as your support. It's just something that I will never forget. This year was incredible. Let's make next year even better. Thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe. We're going to have a lot more amazing content coming your way here in 2006. And don't forget, together, we are change.